Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery, IIMFL and Smart Money Alliance. It is a beautiful Monday morning, December 28th, 2020, and it's my pleasure to visit with you this morning. Certainly happy holidays to you and your family. Hopefully you had a pleasant holiday weekend this past weekend, and you may have some more time off coming up here soon. What we're going to talk about is incredibly important as we plan for a financially successful 2021. And we're going to talk about credit. So again, we always want to keep this check and balance and say, okay, is what we're talking about relevant and consistent with our mission? So I brought up again the IIMFL website, our 501c3. So let's review the mission statement and make sure that we're on the right track. We are a nonprofit organization committed to narrowing the racial wealth gap by teaching financial literacy, improving credit scores, ding ding, and facilitating the development of minority-owned small businesses. When it comes to credit, credit is incredibly important, incredibly important. It affects where you live, it affects what you drive, it affects your cost of anything financed. I just bought a new car, and the insurance rate on the darn car, not interest rate, but the cost of insurance was determined by credit. Secondly, credit, in addition to impacting nearly every aspect of our lives, is something that we control. And that's what you and I need to really focus on, and this falls more in the financial literacy. Many people don't know what you and I know. Credit is largely within your control. Now, life can happen in good times and bad times. That's almost inevitable for all of us. However, credit is fluid. Just because we've hit a rough patch in the road doesn't mean that we have to live with bad credit or the limiting factors. We just don't have to. Now, at a high level, there are two ways to improve credit in general, kind of like a mathematical formula: add positive and or remove negative. We're not going to talk about the negative side. Many of you have that expertise, so we don't want to get into your space. But adding positive is a no-brainer. It always works, it's predictable, and it's fast. So what you and I really need to do is, as we plan what we're going to do for the year ahead and how we're going to help others and generate income, we must commit to going out and improving financial literacy and helping people know, in terms of credit, which is the topic we're on right now, that credit is, you're not locked into bad credit. There are some simple, fast, and very affordable ways to rapidly escalate your personal credit scores. So you can go live where you want to live, drive what you want to drive. Even qualifying for some jobs now is credit dependent. So we rolled out earlier this year the Credit Boost program. It's gone really well. We've had a lot of people enroll. Some of you, as our distribution partners, have been knocking it out of the park, referring in large volumes, and some of you not so much yet. A couple of you are those top tier producers where it looks like that you'll be able to consistently refer in over 100 Credit Boost clients a month. How those of you that are top producers are generating your leads, I don't entirely know. Some of you have some social media, some online marketing prowess. Some of you are out talking to key referral sources, but the Credit Boost program is very attractive, right? No upfront cost. That helps a lot, both from those folks that are tight on money and those that are skeptical. And secondly, we're averaging 100 plus or minus point increase in just the first 30 or 60 days. That's a unique proposition in the marketplace. So the relevance is really twofold for the topic I'm on right now. You and I need to make sure that we educate people that credit is fluid. Adding positive credit is the quickest way to boost your credit scores. And of course, the Credit Boost program can do that with no out-of-pocket, no upfront cost to enroll. And then secondly, you can make an incredible income from this. So there's really two choices that all of us make. to have bad credit or not, and to have good income, good cash flow or not. Because if you're not promoting the credit boost, then you're not helping people improve their financial literacy. You're not helping them improve their credit scores, and you're not improving your cash flow. Because remember, it's real simple. We don't charge the client anything up front. And for every point of credit score increase that they recognize, you get paid $5. On average, a 100-point increase times $5 means that you're making, without any sales at all, an average of $500. Now, I don't know, again, how each of you are getting your leads and if you have any expenditure in whatever you're doing or not. I'm somewhat ignorant of that. But I know that for very little time, you can reasonably generate $500 by submitting leads. And you could do one a day, and that's 10,000 a month, or some of you are doing much more than that. Now, there's a couple enhancements to the Credit Boost program that's really our topic today. So let's go ahead and talk about this email that I sent out encouraging you to attend today's training. So, Credit Boost enhancements. We're focusing on some very important credit enhancements to the Credit Boost program. First of all, we're going to start making available, and frankly, it's past tense. We have a couple of you that are on the Zoom right now. We've already added AU accounts to your trade line. So to your credit profile. So let's educate a bit what AUs are in case you don't know, and then talk about how it works within Credit Boost. So let's just say that there's two types of credit. We're talking about personal credit. There's primary, and then there's AU. Primary, which isn't what we're talking about for this bullet, is when it's your credit that you applied for that's directly in your name. Secondly is AUs. AU stands for Authorized User. And please don't confuse this. These are legal and ethical. And before we started to do this, we of course talked to our legal counsel. Are there any pitfalls with this? And actually called up MasterCard, Discover, Visa, and said, hey, here's what we're thinking about doing. Is there any issue that you, as the biggest players in the credit industry, have with us making available AUs? And the answer is no, with a couple asterisks. But the bottom line is AUs are legal and permissible. And so what we have are some high credit limit credit card accounts that are aged, meaning 2 years or more, that have perfect payment history, low revolving balances, that we can add to our clients' profiles. Now, we don't add them forever. It's for a specific period of time. But what it does is it almost immediately can increase their score if they have a light credit profile, if they have high revolving utilization, and so forth. It works. I mean, it's legal and it's ethical, and you can Google and research AU. There's nothing gray about this. And so we're continuously adding more people to the team that's bringing their credit lines. And then our clients are able to access those AU accounts. So this is a big deal. And normally you would pay in advance for an AU account. You can go online and Google and search, and you'd pay usually hundreds or even thousands of dollars to get an AU account. And then you're never quite sure, well, I hope it works. I hope they do what they say they'll do. I hope they'll post to my credit profile. And again, our model with Credit Boost is we're not charging up front. You're going to see those results before you pay for the increased credit score. So this is alive and well. It's turned on. And several of you that are on the Zoom right now are already benefiting from this. How much credit score will you get from an AU account? It depends on the beginning credit profile. Notice we never make promises of specifically how much your credit will go up, because it'll vary by individual. and we're not charging them until after the fact. So that makes it equitable. Maybe they only get a 90-point increase. Maybe they get a 110-point increase. None of us have a crystal ball to know exactly, but what we know is we can help them improve their credit through a number of ways, and one of which is by adding AU accounts. All right, so let's move on to bullet number 2. This is an even bigger deal. So as we go down through these 3 bullets, they started as important and they're getting really, really important. So even more important than authorized user accounts, which are available elsewhere. Again, there's other places you can get AU accounts, but you're going to typically pay in advance and have some concern, will it post or not? With Credit Boost, no advance fees, so there's no concern if it'll report or not, because if for some reason it doesn't, which it should in all cases, then there's no cost. It's based on results. All right, second, direct bureau reporting. We have now submitted the paperwork to be able to start reporting ourselves. So let's step back. It was earlier this year that we got approved to do credit pulls. So we had to apply. They reviewed our financials. They reviewed our credit. They reviewed our criminal history. They came out and did a site inspection, and we were approved. And so many of you know we do soft credit pulls as part of our programming. Well, we had to get approved to do that. Now we're taking it to the next step where we're going to start reporting as well as pulling credit. So reporting means that we can report positive and or negative transactions. Let's talk about each of those. Well, sometimes we have clients or even distribution partners that don't pay their bills. Now, if they don't pay their bills, we'll be able to report the derogatories on their personal credit. Why would you want to do that? Because it encourages people to pay, so you get paid, right? Because if the client doesn't pay, you don't get paid off Credit Boost. We need the client to pay. Most clients are paying, but if they don't, there's a ramification now that's more direct and immediate. A derogatory goes on their credit, which really jacks up their profile. More importantly than that, though, is we can report positive. Let's pause and think about that. We can now, what we will soon, be able to report positive. So that means if we have someone that is a joint venture partner and they have executed the joint venture small business incubator license, like many of you have that's on the call. We've got Annette and Barry and David and let's see who else here. Several, Victor, Will, several of you are our joint venture partners. And we're doing 0% financing for your joint venture license fee. Well, now we can start reporting that. So your positive, the payments that you're making is now reflecting positively on your personal credit. Well, if you have great personal credit, maybe doesn't matter as much to you. Those that don't have great personal credit, this is a great help. So the ability to add new positive primary credit. So here we were talking about AU accounts, which are helpful. Now we're talking about direct bureau reporting of primary credit, which is even more helpful. And we'll be able to report either as installment or revolving, depending upon how your agreement with us was set up. So let's say that all of a sudden you have a new $10,000 credit limit revolving account that's primary. That can really help your score because it shows that you're properly managing credit, especially if you have a thin file or a weak file. Let's take one more step and get even deeper. So what's even better or even more important than the AUs, which is a big deal, and even more important than the direct bureau reporting, which means we'll be reporting both positive and negative directly to the bureaus. What's even more important is this opens up the opportunity for aged primary trade lines. Now, a few of you are just probably jumping up and down in your seat because you understand how relevant this is. For the rest of you that don't, let me explain a little bit more. So, how do you get a strong credit profile? We talked about this at the beginning of this recording. We add positive and or remove negative, and we keep doing that, and that's what will give us a strong credit score. So we can go out and buy and finance pretty much anything that you want. And I'm going to tie this together with business lending here in a minute. So I'll hold those questions for a moment. So adding new positive credit for most people, if they don't already have a really strong profile, is important, valuable, and helpful. What's even better is when you can add some aging to it. So these AU accounts are aged, otherwise they wouldn't be that valuable. Now we're talking about aged primary trade lines that could be either revolving or installment. Don't get distracted. We're not talking about offering a different service to the marketplace. We're still talking about credit boost. We're just talking about enhancements of what we can do even more so. I'll give you a quick example of an aged primary trade line that I used. So I had a bankruptcy a few years ago and was working to recover from it. And at that time, we were leasing. We didn't own our own home like we do now. And so typically when you own a home or you're financing, you have a mortgage, typically the lender, the mortgage holder, will report your mortgage payments, and that helps build your helps improve your personal credit profile. But typically when you rent or you lease, usually the landlord will not report your on-time payment history. Therefore, you're missing that important trade line that's building your credit profile. There are some companies, and we used a company called Rent Reporters. So there are companies like Rent Reporters that you can pay a nominal fee, and it's credible again, and they'll verify that you paid your rent on time, but they can go back retroactively up to 2 years, 24 months. And so when you not only start adding new positive credit, but you also go back and retroactively capture past payment history, that makes your profile that much stronger, because now it's not just a new trade line, it's an aged trade line. So these are 3 credit boost enhancements that I wanted to make sure that you're aware of: the AU, the direct bureau reporting, and the aged primary trade lines. This does not change who we are, what we do, or how we bring folks in. You become a credit literacy educator. We set up a landing page for you. You drop the names. The landing page is coded to you, so all we need is the person's name, phone number, email, and we take it from there. You have no further responsibilities. Now, of course, we talked, and I can pull it back up. We were talking earlier about our mission of going out and teaching. So, of course, there's a lot that you can do and maybe could do and even should do to improve financial literacy and teach people about how credit works and how the Credit Boost program can help them. But ultimately, all you really need to do is submit name, email, and phone number via your landing page, and we'll take it from there. So again, from a financial perspective, you make $5, and this is really too much. We get criticized all the time for paying too much. This is a gift, really, right? Because if you're earning an average of $500 for each client that all you refer in, you don't have to sell anything, you don't have to close the deal, you don't have to collect any money, and the client has no upfront cost to enroll in Credit Boost. I mean, you could be bad at what you do. And we have some of you that are great about getting on the Zoom, but your production is just bad. You seem to not be able to produce. This is your saving grace right here. You could be bad at communication, bad at sales, bad at education, just not good at what you do, and still make an adult income, because this is so valuable. The Credit Boost program meets a need. Now let's pull it together, and then I'll get to your questions. So the Credit Boost program is, and I'll pull it back up here on the screen, just, it's here on the IIMFL website, Credit Boost described. None of this has changed at all. It's just we have some more arrows in our quiver of how to help people boost their credit. So all is consistent there. Helping people improve their credit is important, and it's consistent with our mission from a financial literacy perspective, well, across the statement here, but it certainly plays an important role of helping small business owners access capital. I know, and you know, that there's different sources of capital, and different sources of capital have different underwriting criteria. But what you and I also know is there are the 3 C's. Remember, we've talked about those before. To get a loan, to get debt-based capital, you need to have at least one of the 3 C's: creditworthiness, cash flow, or collateral. Now, granted, the more of the 3 C's you have, the better off you are, but we need at least one of the 3 C's to qualify for debt-based capital. Now, if we don't have any of the 3 C's, there are other types of capital available that don't require any of the 3 C's, like equity-based, but let's set that aside. So helping small business owners build their business credit, of course, is good, and that's part of what we do. But that does not replace the importance of the business owner themselves being credible, looking reliable, doing what they say that they'll do. And the way that credit works is it's a measure of honor. It's a measure of character, because when we don't pay our bills that we promise to pay for whatever happens, for whatever what happened, it doesn't really matter. The bottom line is the credit report shows that you had an agreement and you didn't fulfill that agreement. When we start injecting new positive credit through Credit Boost, it builds the honor, it builds the character, it builds the credibility of the person, which is often important for many sources of capital. Okay, so what I want to do is get to your questions, comments, concerns, and so let's go through those and see what I can do to make sure that you feel that you're properly armed starting today. I mean, we don't want to wait till 2021, but starting today, that you're driving in a steady volume into Credit Boost, whereby you're earning an average of $500 for submitting someone in. So let's get to your questions. All right, so Robert asked about how those that are producing higher numbers are doing so. And they don't always tell me their secrets, Robert. I can tell you that I was visiting with one of our distribution partners yesterday, and he runs ads, and he's generating, and I can go back and look at the statistics that he gave me. Let me see if I can pull those up here quickly. And I'll tell you what he's generating for volume. He sent me the actual statistics, and it may take me a moment to pull those up, but he's generating around 200 leads a month by doing online marketing. He's created his own landing page. He's not even using ours, quite frankly, and he's driving people in. So there are different ways, but if I were to name the main 3 ways, Robert, to generate leads, one would be online marketing. The second would be interfacing with key influencers, those B2B, business to business professionals that know small business owners and probably have some impact in terms of those that are having credit issues. And then the third would be education, getting out there and teaching, whether it be in person or Zoom based. All right, Robert, thank you for that. Let's see, Dion asks, would you happen to know how this would affect a person that filed for bankruptcy and's been discharged? Well, many of us will have a bankruptcy in the course of our lifetime, and so this is very important that we start building positive credit back. Because while bankruptcy may remove the derogatories, the past debts, it doesn't build the profile out to make us look credible enough to be able to access as much debt going forward. So this is very applicable, Dion, to those that have gone through a bankruptcy. And yes, Dion, we're talking about personal credit on this topic, not business. And Robert's asking, yeah, so we're talking about reporting on personal credit. Credit boost is related to personal credit. Barry says this is huge, and I would agree. And so Barry, yep. Let's get on our next call. And any of you that are looking to leverage credit boost, we need to make sure you're enrolled, which is simple enough. And if you are enrolled, let's just get a call and we'll review your profile and make sure that we're adding the right trade lines. There's a little bit of an art to what to add at the right time. Thank you, Barry. And yes, Dion, so we have flyers for the Credit Boost program, and I can show you that. Let's see if we can get this over here for you. If all's going well, you'll see it here. And this is in edit mode, so forgive the boxes that are around it. But we should have provided each of you a flyer like this that would have your own landing page linked to it. And then, of course, your own landing page. And so once you get set up as either a joint venture incubator partner or simply a credit literacy educator, then we create the flyer and we create the landing page for you to use. So if you've not done that, just, let's go back to, so IIMFL, any of the pages at the bottom has the inquiry form. And you'd say, yep, I'd like to be a credit literacy educator. So you just give us your contact information, check that box, hit submit. We'll send over the DocuSign to you to get you set up as a credit literacy educator. And then we will get your flyer and landing page going. Okay, so we're good there. And that answers James' question as well. David asked, David's one of our joint venture incubator managers. He asked, will the payments made by the incubator clients be reported? Yes, yeah. So we're going to be assertive in direct bureau reporting. So we want those of you that are paying on time to receive the benefit. Those that are not paying on time will see the detriment, and that will help us help you have a stronger profile for what you're paying. So David, yes, the answer is yes. All right, so Josh asked, if someone is in the Credit Boost program, but they want to enroll in the business capital raise, then how would I direct them to you? Oh, yeah. So we can get you, Josh, a landing page for the access to capital, which is different than the landing page for the Credit Boost. Our philosophy, our approach, and you may see fault with it, is we create different landing pages for each product. That keeps it simple, so it's not busy and maybe even overwhelming like on IIMFL, where you got all these pages and all these tabs and down here all these boxes. So the landing pages are specific to a given offering. So we can get you a landing page for Credit Boost as long as you're a credit literacy educator or joint venture partner. And we can certainly get you a landing page, Josh, for the access to capital. Just email that request in, if you will. Thank you, Josh. Michael's asking about the joint venture incubator partner. So the joint venture incubator model, it's set up as a business license relationship. We finance it at 0% interest, which is tough to beat. And then you make low payments to have a joint venture incubator license. We announced a grant promotion earlier this month, earlier in December, that said if you generate at least 5 deals a week, we will actually pay your payment for you. And so several of you, David, and others qualified for that this past week. And there's no reason all of you shouldn't. So while there is a cost to become a joint venture incubator partner, other than just the $250 to get it set up, theoretically, you wouldn't have any other expense as long as you're involved and active. If you're not involved and active, then you're right, Michael, then you would have the $250 payments, and those will start to report positively if you're paying on time. And for those that aren't paying on time, it'll report negatively. Thank you, Michael. Let me know if I missed your point there. Edward says, how do I find the link to sign up? I'm assuming you're asking about signing up for Credit Boost. And so again, if you're seeing the page that I'm seeing, maybe I'm not displaying it correctly, but you should see IIMFL. Credit Boost is here, but frankly, on any of the pages at the bottom, you can put in name, phone, email, and if you're interested in being a credit literacy educator, or if you'd like to be in the Credit Boost program yourself, or even both. Hopefully that answered your question, Edward. If I missed it, let me know. All right, Michael, we'll check on that. I'm not sure why you didn't get a response with the holiday weekend. Maybe we have fallen behind, but I will check on that for you here at the end of the webinar. All right. Any other questions that anyone has about our topic today? And let me summarize. We have some enhancements to the Credit Boost program. Big deals. The Credit Boost program is a no-brainer. So many Americans have less than perfect credit, and there's two ways to improve credit: remove negative and add positive. We're not in the space of removing negative. Many of you are credit repair professionals or work with credit repair professionals to remove derogatory. That's great. That's not our core competence. But we do have a strong competency in adding positive, which results with no upfront cost to enroll, an average of 100-point increase quickly in just the first 30 to 60 days. And so with that being said, this is an arrow in your quiver that you can go out and help people make a difference so they can buy the cars they want to buy the homes they want to buy, have the capital to start and grow businesses that they want to start and grow. They can become much more financially successful with strong credit, and you get paid, frankly, an absurd amount of money. You might say, oh, $500, that's not absurd. For the amount of time that you spend, I mean, you're certainly spending way less than an hour, probably about 15 minutes, if even that much. And so if you can just generate some consistency, you're part of the club. And the club is for those of you that generate at least $10,000 a month in commissions from us. So it's $120,000 a year, $10,000 a month. Well, that sounds like a big number. No, it's one a day. Feed in one Credit Boost client a day, and you're generating 6 figures. All right, and let's see what other questions here we have. The Credit Boost payout is monthly, David asked, and that is correct. Any other questions that anyone has? Anyone not see how important this is? That now, whether it be a small business owner or just an individual, you can help them with the Credit Boost program. They have no upfront cost. You're not selling them anything. They're generating better credit quickly, and you're making an adult income by helping people. It's a really big deal if you're familiar with this space at all. All right, well, thanks everyone. We will be back tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Let us know if we can help you with anything. Have a good day. Bye-bye.